She started going to the gym at midnight and never lost a single pound. Cheating wife story choke. Have you ever watched the person you love become a complete stranger right before your eyes? I saw it happen in the faint blue glow of a phone screen at 2 in the morning. My wife, Sarah, was asleep next to me, her breathing slow and even, but her phone was wide awake in her hand, forgotten. An alert from a fitness app I didn't recognize lit up the screen. Great session tonight, Mark. My heart stopped. Mark wasn't her trainer. Mark was my old college friend, the best man at our wedding. The app showed her location history, not the 24-hour gym in downtown Chicago she claimed to frequent, but a boutique hotel on the other side of the city, near the river. The dates and times lined up perfectly with her midnight workouts. For 6 months, she'd been going to the gym, and for 6 months, I'd been the fool who believed her. My world didn't just crack. It shattered into a million silent pieces in the darkness of our bedroom. I knew right then this wasn't just about a lie. This was a war I never saw coming. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The strange behavior had started subtly. It was the little things. The way she'd angle her phone away from me, the sudden need for privacy on calls she used to take on speaker. Then came the midnight gym routine. "I just have so much energy, David," she'd say, pulling on brand new leggings. "It's the only time I can clear my head." I'd kiss her goodbye, roll over, and fall asleep, proud of her dedication. Humiliation burned slow. It started as a cold knot in my stomach as I scrolled through months of messages between her and Mark. They weren't just flirty. They were a novel of our marriage's death. They mocked my work schedule, my taste in movies, the way I loaded the dishwasher. She called me predictable and safe. Mark called me the warden. Every loving text I'd ever sent her had been screenshotted and ridiculed. She became a different person, cold, manipulative, and arrogant. When I'd ask about her day, she'd give one-word answers. When I'd try to hold her, she'd flinch. The woman I married was gone, replaced by this smug imposter who felt utterly untouchable. One rainy Tuesday, I tried to talk to her. I found a receipt for a fancy dinner for 2 at a place on Rush Street, dated for a night she was supposedly at a yoga retreat. I laid it on the kitchen counter. "Sarah, what is this?" She glanced at it, then back at me, her eyes like ice. "It's a business dinner, David. You're being paranoid." She said it with such casual cruelty. It knocked the wind out of me. That was the night I broke. I went into my home office, closed the door, and just sat in the dark, the silence screaming louder than any argument could. The grief was a physical weight crushing my chest. But as the hours passed, the grief began to curdle into something else. Something cold, hard, and strategic. My revenge wouldn't be a screaming match. It would be a quiet, systematic demolition. I hired the best private investigator in Chicago, a grizzled ex-cop who'd seen it all. For 2 months, he gathered everything. Photos of them checking into the Langham Hotel, credit card statements for gifts I never received, audio recordings of them in a booth at a diner laughing about how clueless I was. While they were laughing, I was meeting with a shark of a divorce attorney. We set the traps. I moved all my assets into a trust her lawyers couldn't touch. I documented every lie, every piece of evidence, cross-referencing them with our joint bank accounts. The final piece of the puzzle was our annual charity gala, an event Sarah lived for. It was her Super Bowl of social climbing. It's held at a massive ballroom overlooking Millennium Park. She'd bought a backless $1,000 dress for it. The night of the gala was perfect. The air buzzed with the chatter of Chicago's elite. Sarah was on my arm, radiant and oblivious, pointing out people she wanted to impress. Mark was there too, across the room, giving her a subtle, smug nod. Waited until the main presentation, when our company's CEO was on stage. I'd made a generous donation, and as a platinum sponsor, I was invited to say a few words. I walked up to the podium, my heart hammering against my ribs. I looked at Sarah. Her smile was a perfect, practiced lie. "Good evening," I started, my voice steady. Say a picture is worth 1,000 words. On the massive screen behind the stage, where a slideshow of charity work was supposed to be playing, a new image appeared. It was a crystal-clear photo of Sarah and Mark, kissing on the balcony of the Langham Hotel, the Chicago skyline glittering behind them. A collective gasp swept through the ballroom. The screen changed. A text message from Sarah to Mark. "He's so boring. Can't wait to be with you tonight." Another picture. The receipt for a diamond bracelet I never saw. Another. Them getting into a cab, her hands wrapped around his neck. I had a full 10-minute slideshow. The room was dead silent, except for the quiet, rhythmic click of the changing slides. Sarah's face had gone from shock to horror to a pale, waxy white. Her perfect world was burning down around her, and I was holding the match. She tried to run, but there was nowhere to go. Every eye was on her. Her father, a stern, old-money patriarch, was staring at her with pure disgust. Her friends were frozen, their champagne glasses halfway to their lips. When the slideshow ended on a final damning photo of them walking into a lawyer's officer, a lawyer specializing in getting wives the majority of marital assets, leaned back into the microphone. "I believe in charity," I said calmly. "And my first act of charity tonight is to free myself from a 6-month, 6-figure liability." The divorce papers were filed this afternoon. I walked off the stage without looking back. I didn't need to. I could feel the fallout. Her social ruin was absolute. Her father disowned her. Her friends scattered like cockroaches. The legal battle was a formality. My evidence was ironclad. She got nothing. Mark, a coward at his core, was fired from his job the next day for a morality clause violation and disappeared. The last I heard, he was selling insurance in a different state. My life became quiet. The big house in Lincoln Park felt empty, but it was a clean, peaceful, empty. I sold it and moved into a downtown condo with a view of the lake. Sometimes, late at night, I think about that blue phone screen, and the moment the bomb went off, it didn't destroy me. It showed me that sometimes the only way to survive a fire is to become colder than the flame. The end.